149. Wu Zetian, the first and only female emperor of China. The rise of Wu Zetian. Although Emperor Taizong of Tang was a brilliant ruler, his son, Emperor Gaozong, was weak and indecisive. After ascending the throne, Gaozong relied heavily on his uncle, Chancellor Changsun Wuji, to make major decisions. However, when Empress Wu Zetian entered the scene, everything changed. Wu Zetian was originally a low-ranking concubine in Emperor Taizong's palace, holding the title of Kairan. At the age of 14, she began serving Taizong. One day, Taizong and his concubines went to see a famous but untamable warhorse named Lion Stallion. He joked, "Who among you can control this horse?" None of the concubines dared to respond, but young Wu Zetian stepped forward confidently, saying, "Your Majesty, I can." Surprised, Taizong asked how she would do it. She boldly replied, "Give me 3 things, an iron whip, an iron hammer, and a dagger. If the horse misbehaves, I will whip it. If it resists, I will strike its head with the hammer, and if it still refuses to obey, I will cut its throat." Taizong laughed loudly at her words. Though he found her methods harsh, he admired her boldness and strong will. Her return to power as empress. After Taizong's death, palace rules dictated that all his concubines were sent to a Buddhist nunnery. Wu Zetian was reluctant to accept this fate. However, during his time as crown prince, Gaozong had already fallen in love with her. 2 years after becoming emperor, he brought Wu Zetian back to the palace, giving her the title Jiaoyi, a high-ranking consort. Gaozong soon decided to remove Empress Wang and install Wu Zetian as the new empress. Many ministers strongly opposed this move, especially his uncle Changsun Wuji, who firmly refused to accept it. Wu Zetian secretly formed alliances with court officials who supported her, and some of them persuaded Gaozong by saying, "This is your Majesty's personal matter, others should not interfere." Encouraged by this, Gaozong finally deposed Empress Wang and made Wu Zetian his new empress. Once in power, Wu Zetian ruthlessly removed her opponents. Officials who opposed her were demoted, exiled, or executed, including Changsun Wuji, who was forced to commit suicide. Wu Zetian's control over the empire. Before long, the already weak Emperor Gaozong fell ill, suffering from constant dizziness and blurred vision. Sometimes, he could not even open his eyes. Seeing that Wu Zetian was highly capable, Gaozong gradually entrusted all state affairs to her. Over time, she became the real ruler, making all major decisions, while Gaozong had no choice but to obey her. One day, frustrated by her growing power, Gaozong consulted his chancellor, Shang Guanyi. Shang Guanyi opposed Wu Zetian's control, suggesting, "If your Majesty finds the empress too controlling, why not depose her?" Gaozong, being indecisive, agreed. "Good. Please draft the decree for me." However, a palace eunuch overheard their conversation and immediately reported it to Wu Zetian. By the time Shang Guanyi presented the decree, Wu Zetian had already arrived. She furiously confronted Gaozong, demanding, "What is the meaning of this?" Terrified, Gaozong shrank back and hid the decree in his sleeve, stammering, "It wasn't my idea. It was all Shang Guanyi's fault." Without hesitation, Wu Zetian ordered Shang Guanyi's execution. After this, Gaozong had no power at all. He could not hold court without Wu Zetian by his side, and all government decisions had to be approved by her. Seizing the throne for herself. When Gaozong died in 683 AD, Wu Zetian installed 2 of her sons as emperors, first Emperor Zhongzong, Li Xian, and later Emperor Ruizong, Li Dan. However, neither ruled independently. She quickly removed Zhongzong when he started showing signs of independence and placed Ruizong under house arrest, ruling as Empress Dowager. This led to resistance among Tang royal family members and government officials. Su Jingye, a former official, revolted in Yangzhou to overthrow Wu Zetian. Chancellor Pei Yin advised her to return power to Emperor Ruizong, hoping this would prevent more rebellions. Wu Zetian saw Pei Yin as a threat and threw him into prison. She then mobilized 300,000 troops, crushing Su Jingye's rebellion. Later, two Tang princes, Li Zhen, Prince of Yu, and Li Chong, Prince of Langya, also rebelled but were swiftly defeated. With all opposition eliminated, Wu Zetian solidified her rule, but she was no longer satisfied with ruling as Empress Dowager. Becoming emperor, the founding of the Zhou dynasty. A Buddhist monk, sensing her ambitions, forged a scripture claiming that Wu Zetian was the reincarnation of Maitreya Buddha. According to the text, the Buddha had sent her to replace the Tang emperor and rule the world. At the same time, a court official named Fu Yuyi gathered over 900 nobles and scholars, submitting a petition urging Wu Zetian to become emperor. Although she initially declined, she rewarded Fu Yuyi with promotions. Soon, more and more officials, nobles, monks, and commoners joined in, urging her to take the throne. According to records, over 60,000 people formally petitioned for her coronation. Finally, in 690 AD, Wu Zetian declared herself sacred emperor and changed the dynasty's name to Zhou, officially becoming the first and only female emperor in Chinese history. Legacy of Wu Zetian's rule. Despite her ruthlessness in gaining power, Wu Zetian was an effective ruler. Her policies stabilized China and strengthened the Tang dynasty. Merit-based government, she expanded the imperial examination system, ensuring that officials were chosen based on ability rather than family connections. Agricultural growth, she supported farming and irrigation projects, boosting food production. Military expansion, she strengthened China's borders, maintaining stability. Cultural development, she promoted Buddhism, leading to widespread temple construction. Although her dynasty, Zhou, lasted only 15 years, after she abdicated in 705 AD, her son, Emperor Zhongzong, restored the Tang dynasty. Even after her death, her reign remained a subject of admiration and controversy. Her rule proved that a woman could wield absolute power in a male-dominated society. Today, she is remembered as one of China's most powerful and remarkable rulers, a woman who defied tradition and ruled an empire on her own terms. 150. Please step into the jar, the era of fear under Wu Zetian. A nation of spies, Wu Zetian's suppression of opposition. After defeating Su Jingye's rebellion, Empress Wu Zetian was determined to eliminate any remaining opposition from Tang imperial relatives and court officials. However, she faced a challenge. How could she identify those who secretly opposed her? To solve this, Wu Zetian issued a decree encouraging nationwide informants. The system was simple. Anyone, whether a government official or a commoner, could report suspected traitors directly to the empress. Local officials were forbidden from investigating the reports themselves. Instead, they had to immediately escort the informant to the imperial court, ensuring they were well-fed and provided with horses and carriages. If the report proved true, the informant was rewarded with an official position. If the report was false, the informant was not punished, ensuring there was no risk in making accusations. This incentive system led to a surge in false accusations, as people rushed to denounce their enemies for personal gain. The rise of ruthless interrogators, the era of torture. With so many accusations, Wu Zetian needed someone to handle the interrogations. A ruthless general named Sua Yuanli quickly rose to prominence by specializing in extracting confessions, whether real or fabricated. Sua Yuanli had no interest in evidence. His method was simple. Torture the accused until they confessed. Force them to implicate others, turning each case into a massive conspiracy. The wider the conspiracy, the bigger the crime, which impressed Wu Zetian and secured his position. As a result, one accusation could lead to hundreds of innocent people being arrested. Seeing Sua Yuanli's success, other officials adopted his methods. Among them, Zhou Xing and Lai Junchen became infamous for their brutality. Lai Junchen even wrote a manual, titled The Secret Techniques of Framing the Guilty, detailing methods of fabricating crimes and extracting confessions. These officials invented numerous cruel torture devices, leaving victims too terrified to resist. Before an interrogation, they would display all the torture instruments in front of the prisoner. Seeing the horrifying devices, the prisoner would often confess immediately, even if innocent. Those who resisted suffered unimaginable agony. Please step into the jar. The fall of Zhou Xing. Over time, Zhou Xing and Lai Junqian executed thousands of people, leaving a trail of ruined families and widespread terror. A loyal official once warned Wu Zetian, saying, "Most of these accusations are false. Someone is trying to create distrust between your majesty and the court. You must be cautious." However, Wu Zetian ignored the warning. The culture of fear and paranoia intensified, to the point where even her most trusted general, Qiu Shenji, was falsely accused of treason and executed. Then, Wu Zetian received a report that Zhou Xing himself was conspiring against her. Shocked, she issued a secret order to Lai Junqian to investigate the case. On that day, Lai Junqian was drinking wine with Zhou Xing, discussing new interrogation methods. A palace eunuch arrived with Wu Zetian's secret decree. Lai Junqian read it without showing any emotion. He calmly placed the decree into his sleeve and continued drinking with Zhou Xing as if nothing had happened. After some time, Lai Junqian brought up a discussion about torture methods. "Recently, we've captured a group of stubborn criminals. They refuse to confess. What do you think we should do?" Zhou Xing stroked his beard and smirked, replying, "Simple. I've thought of a new method. We place a large bronze jar over burning charcoal. If the prisoner refuses to confess, we put them inside and roast them alive. That'll make them talk." Hearing this, Lai Junqian clapped his hands in admiration. "Brilliant. Truly brilliant." He then ordered his men to bring in a massive bronze jar and ignite a fire beneath it. As the flames roared, the entire hall grew unbearably hot, and the officials in the room began sweating. Suddenly, Lai Junqian's expression turned ice cold. He stood up and sternly declared, "By the order of Her Majesty, Zhou Xing is accused of treason. If you do not confess immediately, please step into this jar." Zhou Xing's face turned deathly pale. He trembled uncontrollably, knowing exactly what was about to happen. He fell to his knees, knocking his head against the ground repeatedly, begging for mercy. "I confess. I confess. Please, spare me." Lai Junqian extracted a full confession, which he promptly submitted to Wu Zetian. Wu Zetian hesitated. After all, Zhou Xing had served her loyally. Moreover, she was unsure if he was truly guilty. Instead of executing him, she banished him to Lingnan, modern Guangdong and Guangxi. However, Zhou Xing had too many enemies. Before reaching his place of exile, he was assassinated on the way. The fall of Lai Junqian, the monster turns on his masters. After eliminating Zhou Xing and Sua Yuanli, Lai Junqian continued his reign of terror for another 5 or 6 years. Thousands of officials and innocent civilians were executed. Even Prime Minister Di Renjie was falsely accused and nearly killed. But Lai Junqian became too ambitious. Seeing Wu Zetian's nephew, Wu Sanci, and her daughter, Princess Taiping, gaining influence, he decided to accuse them of treason, hoping to eliminate his rivals and seize power himself. However, Wu Sanci and Princess Taiping struck first. They exposed Lai Junqian's long history of false accusations and atrocities, revealing his pattern of fabricating crimes. Lai Junqian was arrested and sentenced to death. Even Wu Zetian wanted to protect him, but the overwhelming evidence against him left her no choice. She reluctantly approved his execution. The end of an era of fear. When Lai Junqian was executed, the entire capital rejoiced. People celebrated in the streets, saying, "From now on, we can sleep peacefully at night." With his death, the era of paranoia, mass executions, and wrongful accusations finally came to an end.